Hello, I'm Karen, and this is going to be the fourth part of how to make your Bell Fairy. And I'm going to actually be sharing with you how to do the horizontal stripes. And as you can see, when she's actually at the front, they're all nice and actually straight. But we actually do still work in the spiral. And for this one, because I said I'm making an orange fairy, this is the one that I was doing in the last video. So I've actually got two shades of orange. I've got a very pale orange, sort of a peachy colour. Which is a bit tangled up. I best sort that out before I even get going. And what I'm going to do actually is move my yarns over to the other side because they're, see, she's tangled up already. And I'm actually going to be using, so these are my two shades. Yeah, I've got a darker orange and a peachy orange. And these are all to do with the fairies song, because like I said, it's a rainbow song and it sings the colours of the actual rainbows. Okay, so that's pulling nicely through there. Now what I'm going to do is, because obviously this does take a long time for you to actually do all of this, so I'm going to be showing you how to be joining on, doing these first beginning bits. I'll get so far down, then I'm going to swap over to one that I've already worked all the way down, just to show you how to do the very end, because the last two rows are always the same, because I'm going to be sharing with you how to do this pattern as well. Okay, and I think I said in my other video, it's exactly the same pattern. The only way, the reason why this comes out with the vertical stripes is just where you change the colour over. Okay, so you need your fairy, you need a 4mm crochet hook, and your two different colours of yarn. I'm going to start off with my pale colour. You can start off with the darker one if you prefer, but I like to start off, I don't know why, I have done the other ones where I've started off with the dark ones. So what you need to do is you get your fairy and tip her upside down, and then you need to leave yourself a nice tail end. That's for sewing in later. I'm beginning with my twist. You can begin with a slip knot. And when you actually look at your fairy, you need to go to the neck. So the neck is number 1, and then you go 2, 3, 4, 5. So on the 5th row down, yeah, so because if you start too low down, it doesn't really matter, but you can. So but I like to count 5 rows down. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I just look at the front as well, so what was that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I follow that around, yeah, it comes out roughly where a belly button is. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to, what you're going to do on this row is find roughly the middle. It doesn't matter if you're slightly over to one side, and we're going to go into one of the actual holes, and then we're going to come out underneath. Okay, you can actually, if I pull out, you can actually go straight down as well. It doesn't matter which way you start. So I'm going to start there because I'm there, and we're going to do a single crochet. That is a single crochet in America, a double crochet if you're in the UK, a maille serrée if you're in France, and a punto basso if you're in Italy. And I'm sorry, I don't know the Spanish word for single crochet. Okay, and we're going to work over each stitch all the way around on this row. So you should have a total of 18. So I am going to count, and I'm going to show you what happens as we go. Yes, this is going to be awkward. Our arms are going to get in the way. Your yarn's going to get tangled around the legs, but it's so much fun when you turn around and you see a little smiley face. So that's 1, 2. Now coming in there, 3. Ooh, not caught that. 4. As I said, this is going to, it is fiddly, and it's even worse on my camera because I'm doing it over a desk as well. Where am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Let's just move her arm out of the way a minute. You see the little smiley face? coming through there, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we're coming to this arm. I'm going to show you what we're going to do in a minute, so bear with me. 12, 13. Oh, she's going to hit the camera. 13. Right, so now I've just come into, this is where I'm just going to come back. So we're roughly underneath the arm now. I am going to do one more stitch there in this row. So this is stitch number 13. And you can see if we carry on, now I've got here, if I've just put my hook on that row, we're actually going to come out the row below. So at this point, because it's underneath the arm, we're going to come up, back up to the row that we was on. So that's number 13. So that would be a stitch. So I want to come over here. So this is going to be stitch number 14. This one's going to be stitch number 15. 16, 17, and I'm just going to check all my counting there because I was talking and I'm not sure that I've done it right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I am actually on the 18th stitch. I'm really sorry that my counting, because I was talking, was wrong there. You do need 18 stitches, so you will finish where I've finished. As soon as I got to the end, I realised I'd done a mistake. So now you've got your stitches. She actually looks like she's got one of those little rubber rings on that you go swimming with when you're little. And what you're going to do now for this next round, you're going to work straight into the next stitch because we're working in a spiral, and you'll want to pull that tail end tight after you've done that stitch. So I'm going to do that stitch there and then just pull that tail end tight. So we're just going to go all the way around again. So that's my first stitch. That's 1, and you can see where I've actually gone into that there. Okay, so that's 2. You want 18 stitches, okay? So I've got to make sure I count 3 and count properly this time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This does get easier the more you do. 12, 13. Move your arm out of the way. Thank you. 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So now you've got this curved bit. You can actually roll that down a little bit. Okay, so we want to do, so we're going to go into this stitch here, which is, you see it's sort of tucked in. We need to do one more round. So that's 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, excuse me, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, Whoops, it easy, come on. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. Okay, so now she's definitely looking like she's wearing a rubber ring, but if you pull it over, sort of, it'll look like that. Now when you look at the back, we've done the 18 stitches. This would be the next stitch we want to go into, but what we're going to do is we're going to go into the row we worked at previously. Okay, so we're going to work over this last round. So we're going to do the half double crochet now. So the half double crochet it's half double crochet in American. It's a demi bride, no it's not, a demi brie, sorry, if you're in France, a mezzo punto alto if you're in Italy, and a half treble crochet if you're in the UK. And we're going to do this over, and we're going to go into this where am I? There. So I want to go, I'm not going to, yeah, I'm going to go, because that stitch is right next to her, we want to go into here actually, so there. So we're going to do 2 stitches over, so in every stitch all the way around. So we're doing 2 half double crochet, so we should theoretically end up with 36 stitches. If I've made a mistake, then I've made a mistake. All right, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I'm just going to do 10. I'm stopping a minute because I can feel this yarn, the tail end, getting tangled up. You have to be very careful now with this tangling up. Where have I got to? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Is that right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah. Excuse me. 12, 14, 16, oops, 18, 20, 22, the arm's in the way, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, and 36. Okay, I've done it right. Now this is where we need to get the second yarn. We're not cutting off the first yarn, we need to get the second piece of yarn, the second colour. Just get your tension. And what you're going to do is just right where you did the first half double crochet, you've got those at the end there, you've got this one single crochet left there, and what you're going to do is you're going to go underneath, catch hold of your new yarn, pull it through and work a single crochet if you're in the US, a double crochet if you're in the UK, a maçonnet if you're in France, and a punto basso if you're in Italy. and I'm sorry, I said I don't know the Spanish ones. Now what we need to do is the other yarn that we're using, we need to pull that tight, okay, and make sure this is all nice and tight, so we've got this nice single crochet there. Now we're going to do a chain, so it's just chain one, which is what's a chain? Chêne in France, Cantonella in Italy, and a chain in both English and American. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip these two half double crochet, and we're going to actually just work a single crochet in between. I'm going to just do that chain one and go in between those two stitches all the way around. So that's chain one, single crochet, and as you can see, that's what forms these little dots. Yeah, this pattern. So it's chain one, whoops, and single crochet or double crochet, chain one, and we're doing this all the way around. And as you can see, the half double crochet is what like kicked out the skirt of the actual bell. I just want to make sure that I've not tangled up my yarns as I'm coming, so I'm just going to put those to one side, chain one, and single crochet or double crochet or punto basso. All of these different languages. It would be lovely if I could speak all of the languages, but I'm afraid I can't. And it's took me a long time to sit and watch an Italian lady crocheting to learn what the actual names of the Italian stitches were, because when I actually tried to just do a normal Google Translate, it didn't work. So and that's often the case, because if you actually do a Google Translate for Mes Soeurs, which is French, I think it comes out and says something like mesh is what it calls it. It doesn't even call it crochet. So there you have it. And right now I'm nearly at the end of the round. Okay, so what I want to do is do that chain one. Now because I'm going to do these horizontal stripes, I'm going to stay in the same colour. Okay, now if you was actually going to do this one, this is where you actually, if this next stitch, you would actually turn over and you would actually do a single crochet with your pale colour. But I'm going to do the single crochet is actually going to go into the single crochet there and do my last single crochet. So this actually does form, it's a tiniest step. This was actually one of my first ones, which was actually really awful. I've actually improved over time because I've got lovely patterns going off with the other ones. But anyway, what I'm going to do, so now the next, so we've done the single crochet, so now what we're going to do is in the chain one spaces we're going to just work the 2 half double crochet. So from now onwards it's going to be a repetitive pattern. So you're just going to put 2 half double crochet, which is a half treble crochet if you're in the UK, and a demi brie if you're in France, and mezzo punto alto if you're in Italy. Making sure that all the time we're working you're not catching the tail ends that you've got, because you obviously you're twisting this around, and so you've got 2 bits of yarn on the go at the same time. Okay, so just work 2 half double crochet in every chain one space all the way around. And I'm going to do this just so that I can show you you're changing over the colours for the actual stripes, so you can see what happens. So you have to just bear with me while I just go all the way around, and I will begin to tell you the story of how, while it was, I did say, I think it was in my first video that I was doing with the fairies, that I actually, the design for these actually happened. Oh, I hope I've been on the video all this time. I'm really sorry if I came, did I come away? Oh, I may have to do this one again. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I will just have to, I'm going to have to wait until I've finished doing this video to see. I may have to do it all again, and if I have to do it all again, then I'm going to be actually starting with a different fairy who hasn't even got the right colours on her, but we will see. But yes, the this all started because I was actually trying to crochet a piglet to start off with, and I was failing at doing the piglet. And then while I was actually at my mum's, she gave me this lovely little pack of cards, which actually we discovered there was fortune cards. She didn't even realise there was even fortune cards when she first gave them me. And I brought them back home to do some research on them, because they're actually from 1935, and there was a free gift inside the Women's Own magazine that was, I mean, it's still going today, the Women's Own magazine. And I think that you had to actually collect some coupons or some vouchers inside the magazines to be able to get your cards. I don't think they actually put them, because I'm not sure, they could have had plastic bags in those days to put them on the magazines. Right, now I'm coming to the very end of this round, so I'm going to do my last 2 half double crochet there, and now I'm going to be changing colour. And because I'm changing colour, I'm going to put this to one side. I need to pick up this other one, so I need to check underneath first that I've not got things tangled up. Okay, and so I'm going to work my single crochet. There's a single crochet stitch here. I'm going to work under, I'm not actually going to go underneath the top 2 loops, I'm actually going right underneath everything. But if you just work in the top 2 loops, that's okay. And I'm actually changing over my colour, pulling the other end tight, so that's all nice and neat. And now we're going to do what we was doing before, so it's chain 1 and single crochet in between the gaps of the half double crochet. So you can see, if you'd have we're getting this, the pale. So if you actually did yours, you know, if you wanted to keep swapping over, you could actually have pale dots coming down. Anyway, yes, where was I? Oh yes, the little cards. And I did say I was actually making my chair gliders, and that's how I actually I think I've said that. I don't know. I've done videos and I've made mistakes in my videos, so I may be repeating myself. So what I've actually done is I've actually got my little piglet that I did make, who inspired me to make the fairies, to show you, so you can actually see what I made first. And I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm just going to do this row just because when I get to the end, say if you, it's the chain, this, because this is just going to stay in the same colour now for the this round and the following round. Okay, so just keep on going for a little bit, because I'm going to show you how to do the very end bit as well. So you've got all of everything, so you know what you're doing. But as I said, is I've actually written out all of the instructions, I've actually done the pattern, I've actually spent ages and ages. I thought, because I know I'm really guilty of actually making new designs, making a video, and then not actually typing up the patterns and sharing them on my Etsy. So I've actually done it the opposite way around this time, and I've done all of my pattern first, written it out, so that when I actually release these videos, the pattern will go up for sale at the same time, so that you can actually purchase the pattern, so you can crochet along with it rather than listen to me waffle. So what I'm going to do, because I'm staying in the same colour, this is my last single crochet of this round, this is staying in the same colour. If you're changing over colour, this is where you change over your colours. Okay, now I'm going to do my half double crochet into the chain 1 spaces, so I do 2 half double crochet, and this will create the horizontal stripe. And as you can see, it sort of forms, this stitch is slightly above, and it's only slight, and as I say, as you actually do it, it sort of creates almost like a little, if I put it that way around, you can see it's slightly different there, but it gives the, because of the curves that are going off, it just sort of blends in. It's really nice. So so yeah, so there we go. So hopefully you should be able to do all this by yourself now. It's just repetitive all the way down, and I'm just going to do a few more stitches just so that you can see the colour that's coming up. That's really nice. I'm really happy with that. I like these two colours together. I could see the darker orange actually had the undertone of this pale orange, and so in the song this is actually 2 shades of orange, which is actually 2 orange shades, which is actually quite difficult to say if you say it fast in a song. So yeah, that's where my song slows down slightly. And so she will sing, I am a bell fairy, I'm 2 orange shades. This is her little part of the song. But obviously, until she's made, I can't do the actual video with all my coloured fairies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here, because you can see what's happening. You can see the colour sequences going off, and you can see that this is, from now onwards, it's just going to come straight down. Okay, and it might have a slight curve. It depends how you push it, because you can actually maneuver this and make it so it's actually quite squared at the edge there. Okay, so you can carry on doing yours in whatever colour you're doing. I'm just going to put her to one side because obviously I've got to finish her off. Now this one is one that, woo, colour change. This one is 2 shades of yellow, and this one's done in the vertical stripes. Because I wasn't sure, she's also got a little bit of a mistake in the back of her head. Because I wasn't sure what colour she was going to be, I didn't do her eyebrows in the beginning, but I do have this lovely golden yellowy colour to go with her. So she will get finished, because she needs to be in the song too, because she's 2 yellow shades. Okay, so when you get to the very end, what you want to do, so you want to keep crocheting your rows, whichever pattern you do, until you get to the end, so a little feet are just covered up, and you need to end on a chain 1 single crochet round, or chain 1 double crochet round if you're in England. Okay, and then what we do is when we get to the end of the round, is, because we're keeping in the same colour, we're going to just single crochet into that single crochet, and then where the chain 1 spaces are, we're going to do 2 single crochet, which is 2 maisserie. If you're in France, it's 2 punto basso if you're in Italy, and it's 2 double crochet if you're in England. Okay, so you're going to do this all the way around. I'm going to have to get a rapid move on because I've already been crocheting for half an hour nearly, so and you need to see the next round afterwards. But on both of the designs, the last 2 rounds are exactly the same. Okay, so this is how you make them all match and they become a set, because that's the whole point of these. I wanted a set of fairies, saying all of the colours of the rainbow except for red. There is no red fairy, because 2 shades of red together, the 1 shades of red I've got, look awful, because one's sort of like a nice deep burgundy red, and then the other one was sort of more of an orangey red, and it just, I didn't like the colour combination together. So in their song, when we actually go to sing about the red, that's why the Bell Fairies have all got red lips. Yeah, so that's where your red comes in. They're all made out of the white sparkly yarn, because I just love the white sparkly yarn, and it just shows up all of the colours. And they've all got the black sparkly eyes. You may not be able to get black sparkly yarn, so yours may have to be just plain black, but that's perfectly fine. And I say I've done all of their eyebrows, obviously except for this one, but she will be done. They all match the colour sequence that's going off. Okay, and well, nearly at the end of this one, so then I'm going to show you what the very last round is. I'm not going to complete the last round because it does take a long time, and like I said, I've already been doing this for half an hour. I've tried to break this into small portions, and so now we've got to the very end of the round. This is where we would be doing this we've got the single crochets going off there. So what we want to do for this very last round, and I can't tell you this stitch in Italian, I'm sorry, I just couldn't work it out, Okay, so we're going to do a slip stitch, which is a maculé in France. It's a single crochet in English, but I don't know what it is in Italian or Spanish. So if you'd like to comment and share to me what a slip stitch is, and actually, even if you want to, if you can put it, like if you put a single crochet, if it's a US single crochet, and then you can tell me what it is in Spanish, I would really appreciate that, because obviously I can share more then. But anyway, so we do a slip stitch, chain one, and then slip stitch back in the same space, and we do that in every single stitch all the way around. Because if I just stop a minute, if you look at your fairy now, the gown is sort of, it's domed, okay, and it's this row that you do in here, so where we've got slip stitch, chain one, and slip stitch in the same space, and you can see you start to get this little wiggle effect going off, and this is what kicks